How often should I send chasing emails? That's a question I regularly get asked by clients. The true answer is, how long is a piece of string? How often you send them out will depend on an awful lot of factors. The service or product you're providing, your payment terms, if you get money up front, if you invoice on stage payments, things like that. So, for this video, I'm going to use an example of 30-day terms. Now, that's not saying you should be giving 30-day terms, but it's the easiest way to explain how frequently I think you should be sending out chasing emails. So, email your invoice over. 2 days later, or 3 days later, I would drop them an email and with the subject line of, is there anything more I can do for you? Within that email, put down that you've sent them invoice 200 and just make sure that they've received it and that it's not gone in their spam email, because you're sending this one personally to them rather than automated. And hopefully you'll get a response from them saying, yeah, it's fine, we've got it and we've got no questions. Which is brilliant. Then 14 days later, drop them another quick line. Again, it's a personal line. And just say to them in the subject line, how's everything going? Can we be of service? Or something along those lines. Then in the body you say to them, we delivered you this service X number of days ago. We wanted to make sure you're happy with it. That you've got all of our contact details if you've got any questions. If you're really pleased with it, any chance you could just drop us a testimonial on here, here or here. And by the way, the invoice you said you'd received from us, have you got any questions with it? Is there anything you need our help to resolve? Fingers crossed from that you'll get a response along the lines of, here's your testimonial, we're absolutely pleased with it, or actually we've got this question, can you just give us some help with it? Or it'll generate you a phone call. All of those are ways to follow up to make sure that they've got no questions on the invoice. Then, by doing those two, that should be enough to get the invoice opened and to find out if there's any problems with it. I wouldn't send another email until after the payment date. I'd then email them sort of the day after the payment was due with the subject line of, oops, I think my bank's made an error. Now again, you're saying it's your bank's fault. They're likely to open that to find out why you think your bank's got an error. And again, in the subject, you're kind of saying to them, we think something's happened with our bank. We noted that this invoice was due for payment yesterday and our bank doesn't appear to have received it. Can you just check at your end and make sure it's gone through fine and then let us know so we can chase our bank? Again, you're making it your fault or your bank's fault. If they've just genuinely forgotten, the chances are they'll probably make the payment there and then. If they don't, and if they don't get in contact with you, there's probably an issue. So a week after due date, I drop them another email along the lines of, we're really sorry, but there seems to have been some confusion with this invoice. In the body, you then kind of put, we really hope we would have had this invoice paid by now. Apparently we haven't, so there's an issue. Can you please tell us what that problem is so we can resolve it? So hopefully that will generate you payment. However, there is this small percentage of people where it doesn't. And if it doesn't, then one final email 14 days after due date. So if you're giving 30 days credit, that's 44 days credit. So 14 days after due date, drop them an email and say, we're really sorry, we don't seem to be able to communicate with you, and because this is now 14 days overdue, if you don't pay us within 7 days, then we're going to have no alternative but to send this out for another way of getting paid. We can't control what costs will be involved, and these costs will be passed on to you. And also, if we don't receive payment in 7 days, here's the amount of interest already on this invoice, here's the administration fee we'll be adding on to it as well, both of those under law under the Late Payment of Commercial Interest Debt Act 1998. We really don't want to pass this on to you, but unless we get the payment within 7 days, I'm really sorry, but we don't have a choice. So that's what I would do. In summary, send 2 emails pre-due date and a maximum of 3 emails post-due date. I hope you found that useful. So we're going to carry on looking at invoices and chasing and emails and phone calls and all the rest in this series. So just do me a favour, hit the subscribe button. If you found this useful, share it with people, let people know about this channel. And until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and remember, cash flow's king. Bye for now.